Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. Alright, this is what we got going on. Others is what we got going on. Swamp Thing. Um, yeah, just working away. I don't really have too much to say. Once I start working, I shut down. I go into the hypnosis zone. It's just me and the art, lost in Hollywood. But yeah. I'm very aware of like values and structure and form and blah blah blah. I hate talking about it. Honestly, there's nothing to say. You do it right or you do it wrong. No. Let me think. What I'll ultimately do, there's a lot of black around Swamp Thing. If you look here, you can kind of can see more clearly like the X's and stuff like behind him. So he should pop pretty good. If there's any problematic areas around him, I can always go in with a little bit of white and kind of pull out some like little pieces of grass or moss, or you know what I mean, like kind of spice it up a little bit. I'm a little leery of this area behind his, like this. Kind of, it's a little weird. I don't know. It was like these weird like circle shapes, and I don't know how dark it should be. I'm gonna cross-reference like the photo of it. The problem is if you look at even the photo copy, I mentioned this before, it gets darker as it goes down. So this I'm inking basically off of a photograph of this that was 72 DPI. That was the only piece of reference that was remaining of it. Again, if you're just tuning into this video, the reason that I'm inking this on a blue line is FedEx lost the original pencils. So the original pencils were being sent to me. They were supposed to be here Saturday. They never arrived. 3 days go by. I'm like, where's the piece? They're like, they delivered it Saturday morning. It's like, well, that's interesting. Me, my wife and kid were all here Saturday morning, and it was never delivered. So that's what I have to say about that, FedEx. But anyway, the photograph that John had taken, it'd be like how this desk lamp is sort of like lighting up a certain area. So up here was all much brighter, and then down here it got darker and darker. So what I did is I stretched the photograph to approximately 11 by 17, dropped it onto an 11 by 17 600 DPI template, and then went in and started to like manually like clean it all up. So I lightened everything as much as I could, because I'd rather actually draw the areas in pencil than work on mud. Because what would have happened is, okay, like if I would have inked on something this dark, when I'm done, I will still erase this like it was a penciled piece, and it'll pull up some of the blue, but you don't want a bunch of this like blue underneath. As much as you can isolate the blue and cyan and green channels and kind of remove it, it doesn't get it all out, and what you'll have is you'll have these weird like gray areas then sitting underneath the art, and then you can remove some of it with the dodge tool and with leveling and whatnot, but I'd rather print it light and then draw more. So, but I think this thing is turning out really cool so far. I'm digging it. I'm digging what I'm seeing, and I think that John's composition and all the black and everything and these trees, I still believe in this piece. I believe it can fly. I believe it can touch the sky. We'll see though. Like I said, when you're watching these videos, this piece will be done. I may have already ruined it. I might be on a bridge ready to jump off, but I doubt it. I believe in myself. Oh, man. You know what? Waiting for 3 days for a page to work on, it makes you a little zany. I'm digging the hand. I like that. There needs to be more characters that are in swamps, I think, for inkers, because then we can show off of our like rendering and textures and weird like little things. And then down here I'll do a little bit of little splattery do to make it look very wet. It's gonna be fun, man. Like I said, this is a really, really good piece for an inker to show off. So I'm gonna put on the Ritz and try to show off on it. I have no idea who's coloring this, so it'll be interesting. And like, hopefully the colors maintain sort of like the inks and don't like bury it. Sometimes it's a shame when you go in and you do, you know, very time consuming textures, and then they take like some sort of texture brush and just sort of blow over everything that you've done, and you know what I mean, like kind of cover up, like, you know, in seconds something that maybe took you a few hours to do. So you know, and it's no reference to working over John's work, because I know Dean does a lot of textures. I don't know if he would be calling this, but just in the past though, like I've had that where I did a sky one time, and it was very obvious that I had spent a lot of time like doing almost like an Atomo or a Mobius like line work across the sky, and really put a lot of effort into it. The freaking colors just like knocked it out with some dumb effect that was like, dude, really? So you looked at that and you went like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna make it completely like not show up, but whatever. Trust me, I remember the name. He'll never work with me. Take that. So, okay, cool. I will be back in an hour or two and have more of this piece. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. The trees are going to be really challenging. I'm not even going to joke. Like, that's a very hard technique. You know, you've got cylinders with this, like, rendering on it, and it's pretty chunky rendering, and, you know, if it's not balanced, it can look real weird. So I think I'm going to try to make sure that I have all the figures done, and maybe even some of the black around the trees, so I can really gauge how much I want that stuff to stand out, because working from a blue line, you kind of lose the contrast in the piece, you know what I mean, like the values. So, you know, I'm very mindful of the values. Like if you were looking at a black and white photograph, you know, the composition, you know, where the blacks, where the grays, you know, and different levels of value, and then where's the white, and yeah, you want to make sure that all works and looks sexified. So, okay, cool. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry if I'm being goofy and telling lame jokes, but you have to have a sense of humor when you've got probably 20 hours of work ahead of you, and you've been waiting for 3 days to work on a piece. So let's do this together. Okay, thank you. I will see you on part 4, I think. It'll get a little sketchy here. Okay, thanks. Bye.